In this video, we'll discuss how to navigate Space Apps Connect, the official communication forum for the 2024 NASA Space Apps Challenge. This year, Space Apps Connect will be hosted on GitHub Discussions. Joining Space Apps Connect is optional but highly encouraged. The platform allows you to connect with other hackathon participants, as well as with local leads, navigators, subject matter experts, or SMEs, global collaborators about their global offers, and the NASA Space Apps Global Organizing, or GO team. You can use Space Apps Connect to ask hackathon questions about the challenges and data, and use this as an opportunity to learn about the NASA Space Apps community. Space Apps Connect is completely free for everyone to use. Please note, participants who join Space Apps Connect must adhere to NASA Space Apps Code of Conduct and Values, which can be found on spaceappschallenge.org. To join Space Apps Connect, participants must have a GitHub account. Before we begin, please note the following. Participants who are under the age of 13 cannot use GitHub. If GitHub learns of any user under the age of 13, they will terminate that user's account immediately. Participants who are between the ages of 13 and 17 are required to have a parent or legal guardian create their GitHub account and must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian at all times while in Space Apps Connect. If you are a resident of a country outside the United States, your country's minimum age may be older, in which case you are responsible for complying with your country's laws. By using Space Apps Connect, you are agreeing to GitHub's terms of service. To create a GitHub account, navigate to github.com. Select the Sign Up button at the top right of the screen. Fill out the required information for your account. Answer the required questions and verify your account by completing a CAPTCHA test. Once you have filled out the form successfully and completed the CAPTCHA test, select Create Account. You will receive a code in your email inbox to verify your email. Find the code in your email inbox and enter it in the prompt. After entering the verification code, you'll be asked about your team size and whether you're a student or teacher. This information is optional and will not impact NASA Space Apps Challenge judging. It is collected solely by GitHub. Next, you'll see a prompt about features you're interested in. You can skip this section by selecting Continue if you don't want to explore any specific features, as they are not required to participate in Space Apps Connect. Once you have reached the section where GitHub asks you which plan you would like to use, make sure to select the free plan. You do not need any other plan to be able to participate in Space Apps Connect. If you are prompted or suggested to purchase something while using GitHub, please understand that NASA is not responsible for any purchase you make. You do not need to make any monetary purchases to fully experience everything Space Apps Connect has to offer. Once you've created an account, head to github.com/NASA/spaceapps and log in. You can also head to github.com and type in NASA/spaceapps in the search bar at the top center of the page. Click on the discussion tab to get to the discussion board. Here, you will see 8 different discussion categories for the hackathon. Find a team. Participants use this category to find teammates to tackle the challenge. Announcements. The NASA Space Apps Go team will be using this category to provide important updates to participants, so check it frequently. In this category, you will find information about the hackathon, reminders, words of encouragement, and notices about system issues or troubleshooting needed. Challenges. Ask questions about the challenge you're working on. Be sure to include the challenge name in the start of your discussion. General. Discuss topics related to the NASA Space Apps Challenge that are not relevant to other listed categories. Global offers. Ask questions about this year's global offers here. Languages. Talk with participants in languages other than English in this category. Project submission help. Ask questions about submitting your project here. Universal event. Participants can ask questions related to the universal event here. The first thing you should do before creating a post is to search for similar discussions. This helps prevent duplicate questions and reduces creating an unnecessary discussion when a similar one already exists. To search for a discussion, select the filter button on the right side of the screen and select All. This allows you to see all discussions regardless of their status. Click on the label filter to select labels you think would apply to the discussion you are looking for. For example, if you have a question about a challenge, you would select the appropriate challenge label. Please note that you can select more than one label if you'd like to get more specific with your search. You can also use the search bar within the label filter to search for discussions that have a certain label. Keep in mind that the more labels you add from the filter, only the discussions that contain all labels you select will appear in the results. If you select too many labels, there may be no discussions that match your query. If you want to remove a label you have selected within your search, go back to the label filter and click on the label you want to remove. You can also delete whichever filters you're using from the filter search bar located here as well. To post a discussion, find the relevant category to post in. Click the New Discussion button and then select Get Started next to the category you want to post in. When writing the title of your post, please make sure that it is clear, concise, and summarizes what you are posting. This will help the NASA Space Apps Go team identify which labels to attach to your post and will allow others to find and respond to your post as quickly as possible. When you are ready to post, click the green Start Discussion button. If you want to move your discussion to another category before or after posting, select the Choose a Different Category button above the discussion title. When writing the body of your post, please make sure that the content stays relevant to the chosen category. You can comment on a discussion by clicking on the post and then replying in the comment section of the discussion. If you want to mention another user in your discussion, use the @ symbol followed by the user's GitHub name. Please be courteous and refrain from spamming usernames. To reference a certain discussion, start typing out the title of the discussion and it should pop up. Once the correct discussion you are referencing pops up, click it and it will add the discussion reference number to your comment. When you are satisfied with your post, select the green button in the bottom right of the context section. The green button should be named Comment, Start Discussion, or Reply, depending on the type of post you are creating. Space Apps Connect users are encouraged to close their discussions when it has been resolved, is no longer relevant, or is a duplicate. This helps reduce the number of discussions present in the active section of the GitHub Discussions page. To close your discussion, click on your post and scroll down to the comments section. You can either click on Close Discussion or select the down arrow to choose the reason for closing your discussion. Please do this once your question has been answered or the post is no longer relevant. For a complete, detailed guide on how to navigate Space Apps Connect, you can refer to the Space Apps Connect guide. NASA Space Apps is a community that embraces diversity, equity, inclusion, support, collaboration, growth, and respect. Bullying, discrimination, or harassment on any basis will not be tolerated. If you experience or witness discrimination, harassment, or any form of bullying during the NASA Space Apps Challenge, or have any other concerns, please contact your local lead and/or the NASA Space Apps Go team at conduct@spaceappschallenge.org. The Go team will take appropriate action, which may include warning or expelling offending participants from the event. We hope utilizing Space Apps Connect will enhance your hackathon experience. Good luck to all participants at this year's 2024 NASA Space Apps Challenge.